Good Tuesday morning. Rev here this morning. I hope you're safe, you're well, you're blessed on this Tuesday. It is July the 13th. We're almost halfway through this month. Wow. Uh, Hope you're ready to be a witness today because you are definitely going to have an opportunity. I want to read just one verse to you. Actually, I may go a little further. But what I really want to read is this verse. It comes from Ecclesiastes chapter 4, beginning with verse 9. Two are better than one because they have a good return for their work. If one falls down, his friend can help him up. But pity the man who falls and has no one to help him up. Also, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one alone keep warm? Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of three strands is not quickly broken. May God add his blessing to the reading of his word this morning. Have you discovered yet that you are incomplete by yourself? During my running days, my warrior days, whatever you want to call them, my BC days, that stage of life that I was in, you'd have been hard pressed to convince me that I needed anybody. I know few people that are willing to admit their need for others, but I know many who would live according to that principle. However, sooner or later, we all will discover God's truth regarding our need for others. Now, whether we relent to that is another thing, but we're going to eventually figure out that by ourselves, we're just not that great. God made us to need other people. And we may not discover this until we fail. Whether it's a failing business, a failed marriage, a failed marriage, or a close friendship, or even a client relationship. We are incomplete without the ongoing input of others into our lives. An independent spirit is one of the most detestable sins from God's viewpoint. It's the highest form of pride. Proverbs 13:10 tells us that pride only breeds quarrels, but wisdom is found in those who take advice. God has made each of us so that we have only so many gifts. Not one person has them all. He didn't give us, any of us, all of the available gifts. And so we learn to depend on others and to humbly trust others to complete us when we are deficient. Let's take me playing in a band, for instance. I can play the guitar and sing by myself, but when you add a bass and when you add the drums and a keyboard, another guitar, and things come together and everything just complements each other, it makes it so much better. So much better. David and Jonathan, Paul and Silas, John Wesley and George Whitefield, Martin Luther and Philip, I probably won't say this name right, but Melanchthon. And he was 14 years younger than Martin Luther. But Martin Luther learned that he needed someone in his life to complete the work that God had called him to do. Luther had the greatest respect for his friend. who helped him reform the church of their day and the church we know at present. Luther learned a great deal from Melanchthon, who was he was a great scholar at a young age. He could speak several languages. He became a professor of Greek at the New University of Wittenberg at 21 years of age. And that was 10 years after Luther posted his famous thesis on the church door in Wittenberg. Melanchthon helped shape the Protestant movement of the 16th century through his research, through his writings, his moral purpose, and religious conscience. Luther and Melanchthon became inseparable, and when they died, they were buried next to each other. Who has God placed in your life to complete you? Think about that. Perhaps it's a mate. Perhaps it's a close friend. Perhaps it's a business partner. If you lack this in your life, I encourage you to speak to someone, somebody who can speak into your life. And if you have someone like this, tell him or her how much you appreciate the role that he or she plays in your life. We need each other. We are built for relationships. We can't do it alone. I'm Pastor Mark. I love you guys. Be safe, be well, be blessed. Be strong. Go do something for Jesus. Do it with somebody. Remember, Jesus sent them out 2 by 2. Maybe that's the way me and you ought to be doing it. 2 by 2. Love you guys. Go do something for Jesus. I'll see you tomorrow.